don't think it's adventitious that we have a really, really good speaker today. He's worked hard, multiple clubs, a lot of things going on. So I'm going to introduce Chris Warnke, our first speaker of the day.
Thank you, Kurt. Bookem. What do you think of when you hear the term Bookem? Think of a guilty party that's just been caught, arrested, and put in jail. Greetings, fellow Toastmasters. No guests today. Today, I'm going to share an experience with you about my Toastmaster walk to date. And I want to start by asking you to hold up your books, your Toastmaster books, if you have them. Okay? We have a few. We got the Competent Communicator book and the Competent Leader book, and there are some advanced books as well. I'm going to Toastmaster book you today, and I hope that you don't come in guilty as charged. A few weeks ago, in my other club, the Encore Toastmaster Club, we were going to hold what is called a member summit, where we had a meeting, no speeches. The entire topic of the meeting was to break into small groups and to talk about where you were in your progress on your books. It was intended to focus on people moving forward toward their competent communicator, or their competent leader, or their advanced bronze leader, or advanced bronze speaker designation. I was in Alaska. I wasn't able to make it. However, I did receive an email from our VP of Education. Carla sends a nice email to me and says, Chris, I understand you're not going to be there. Where are you in your progress in these areas? Well, Carla wasn't there, so I didn't have to face her face to face. But I thought, really good question. So I thought, I've got to respond to this email. So I typed there and said, don't know, never looked, enter. Well, her response back was, I'd love to meet with you and talk about it. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to pull up my two books. I pulled up my Competent Communicator book, and in it I could see that I had some pretty good documentation, and yes, I completed my Competent Communicator last September. All filled out. There's both individual evaluations, as well as there is a summary page that lists the specific dates that you met each of the speeches. You completed each of the speeches. So I completed that in my Competent Communicator book. Yes. Let's move on to the Competent Leader topic. So Carla and I scheduled a time. I went through my book. I looked for where I had evaluations and things, and I found that there's a summary page that I could take a look at. So I pulled up the summary page, and I started to fill in the different roles that I played and what the dates were. And then, I don't think you'd consider it cheated, but I went to our websites for both clubs, and I looked in the history. And when I looked in the history, I had performed a bunch of roles. So I filled out the rest of these. So I told Carla, I'm actually really close to being a competent leader in Toastmasters. I'm actually down to 4 steps, and of the 10 projects you have, I've only got really 2 to complete. 4 individual actions I need to take, but basically 2 to complete. I am really close. And she said, great, how's the documentation? There's a pause. When you say documentation, are you talking about the summary page? Because that's what I basically used. She said, no, I'm talking about inside the book, the evaluations that happened for each time you played a role. How are you doing on that? Because that's what you have to get credit for, to make sure that you're learning from the fact that you played the roles. was a long pause. I actually started that, Carla, when I first became a Toastmaster, but I didn't see anybody else sharing their books with other people and writing things down, so I kind of stopped that. And then eventually I started kind of using that summary so that I would keep track of things. She said, Chris, if you don't have the documentation, somebody hasn't truly evaluated you in that role, it doesn't count. You are kidding me. There are 10 projects in this book. There's actually 21 individual things, roles I need to play or actions I need to take. I was down to 4, 17 done. But now, based on understanding the documentation requirement, I actually have 4 done. I have a long way to go. Where are you in getting credit for the roles that you're already playing and getting feedback on those roles? You could be getting a whole lot more credit because you're performing the roles that potentially you are today. I actually plan to give my book today to Kurt, asking him to complete the evaluation of my tabletopist role that I played last meeting. I'm not going to ask Bob to complete a Toastmaster Club leadership role that I played a year ago, but one meeting ago I think I might be able to do that, and then I'm going to also probably ask Tim to complete my general evaluator role for today. So I'm actually going to go from 4 of my 21 up to 6 today. That's a 50% increase in one day. So if you think about our club, we meet twice a month. How many months are there in a year? 12. That's 24 meetings. Take away a holiday or 2, probably 22 meetings. I probably make it to about 18 of those meetings a year. And surely, at least 15 of those, I'm playing at least one role, because most everybody is playing a role in most meetings. I'm a part of 2 clubs. With 2 clubs, that's the potential to play 30 roles within a year. Today, I've been a part of Toastmasters for 2 years. I have 4 of my 21 steps to become a competent leader officially complete. I am changed based on that inquiry that came into me. I want to challenge and encourage you. You're performing the work. Get the credit for it. Get the competent communicator and the competent leader designation. And then there are steps beyond that that you can also get. Most of us love to get credit for what we worked on. I'll use an example. When I do the dishes at home with my wife, I want her to notice. I want to get the credit. Take advantage of the roles you're playing today. How many of you have your book with you and are going to use it? I encourage you to leverage the work you're doing. Get the credit you deserve.